So I went ahead and splurged on some wrestling shoes, and I figured I'd make a video about them and say why I like these, and some things that I don't like about them. But these are the AdiZero Varners, and I think I paid 130 bucks for them, which is more than I really should have, but I wanted them, and it's a local store, and I want to support them, so I went ahead and got these. So I tried them out at the store, so they're not like you know, real fresh, like laces still tight. But these are them. Probably the most distinctive characteristic of these are the gum bottoms, the peanut butter bottoms here. It's just flat gum, come up on the sides. They're really sharp. They look real sharp online. They look really sharp online. In my hands, they have a little bit more contrast than I would have thought, but it's all good. You got the huge Adidas gold logo here. Yeah, so these are really unique. The bottoms on these are pretty unique. I don't think there's any other shoes with bottoms like this. They come up on the side, and they've just got these huge chunky grips on them. These rectangular chunky grips on them. They get a little bit more fine up at the toe here, but all over it's just chunk and up the sides. These shoes remind me a lot of the Roulons when they came out. I think this must be a direct response to the Roulons. You got Varner. Roulon is they're both heavyweights. Roulon's a little bit heavier, but I would recommend these shoes for a heavyweight, and I would recommend these shoes for anyone who's doing freestyle or Greco wrestling. And the reason I say that is because of how far up this texture goes on the sides, this grip goes on the sides. You can wrestle folk style on these. Obviously, they're wrestling shoes. You can wrestle folk style on them. They're selling them during folk style season. I wouldn't recommend these for folk style for someone who is going to be wrestling fast and someone who's going to be wrestling like a lighter weight kind of guy. And that's just because of how far up on the sides this grip goes. When you're sprawling, when you're working, you want to be able to let your shoes slide a lot, and these might just be too much grip for you to do that properly. You're probably fine if you're not like a super advanced guy and you're just trying to wrestle. These are probably fine, but then why are you spending so much on shoes? Yeah, so if you're a lighter guy, I wouldn't recommend spending this much on shoes. Oh well, I'll take that back. If you're a lighter guy, I wouldn't recommend spending that much on these shoes, unless you're going to be wrestling freestyle and Greco. If I'm wrestling folk style in these, it's just going to be too much grip when I'm trying to sprawl, too much grip when I'm trying to slide, and I might not want that. Now, if I'm wrestling freestyle in these, I bet I could gut wrench a bear in these. Just get your toe right in the mat here and really use that full grip to your advantage, and you're going to be driving kids home right over their shoulder. Same thing on the heel here. You've got the full heel exposure with this grip, and stepping around to do your lifts and stuff like that, and throwing off of your back toe or throwing off the back of your foot on your heel on crotch lifts and stuff like that. Step around for your straight lifts and your reverse lifts and all that. That'll be great for that. Otherwise, you have great support up here on the top. It wraps around your ankle. You've got on the inside. There's a couple things I want to point out inside the shoes. One, these shoes are white. And that's not going to be a problem for me because I'm going to be coaching in these, and I'm not going to be sweating profusely like I would be if I were cutting weight and really trying to get a sweat on. But these, if you're going to wrestle in these are going to get white. The other thing on the inside here, you see these, it's got this elastic on the tongue. That's pretty nice. It keeps the tongue in place, and it really kind of hugs. It hugs your foot in there. Let's see if I can get a good shot. And it's pretty wide. Like, it's not one of those little ones. It's, what is that, like, it's like 3 inches wide in there. And it really kind of grips your foot. It was hard for me to put these on. I have other Adidas 9.5 shoes that are brand new that I've worn, and these were the hardest ones to get my foot in. So speaking of putting my foot in, let's see what they look like. This isn't a knock on these shoes at all. I just want to show you how far I have to extend these laces before I can get my feet in. I just tried it out. This is as far as I can, as far as the laces need to be out before I can stick my foot in there. And that's pretty far. That just speaks to how tight it is in there. And it's not bad. It's just, wow. They really do a job of trying to hold your foot in place. So if you want secure feet, these might be the shoe for you. I think these shoes, part of the reason why I bought these shoes is that I think in the wrestling collector's market, these will be one of the finer shoes to have in your collection, and I think these are going to age like wine. I invested in these. I invested a chunk of change in these, and I think that it'll end up being a nice investment. I'll wear them, look sharp, and then be able to trade them for something else real cool, because you just don't see shoes that look like this. These are real unique. I heard these are the last year that they're making these, so these is the last time you can get this colorway. You know, Varner's a big name, but there's other big names. He's not your Dan Gable, your Cal Sanderson. So these are one of the last times, I think the last time you'll be able to get these shoes, and the exclusive colorway, this is the last time. So that's enough about the shoe. Let's see how they look like on my feet. So, on my feet, like I was saying, I thought it was going to happen, and I felt them in the store. It's really, really hugging my, this middle part of my foot here, which is not bad. Especially if they're brand new, they're going to be tight. That's the way wrestling shoes are. If they're not tight when they're brand new, they're probably not fitting you right. There's a focus on, you can tell in the construction here, that there's a focus on being able to flex kind of, I guess you would call this vertically, at the toe, and having a lot more support, I guess you would say laterally here. The construction, as far as the bottoms of the shoes go, it's kind of hard to see on camera, you might be able to catch it. This whole bottom surface is flat. Okay, you can kind of see it here, it's definitely evident there, all the way around. All the way around it's flat, and then it comes up. So you're getting kind of like this knife's edge when you're on it. So you're either flat and kind of wrestling on your toes, or you're doing something and getting, especially I can imagine on a gut wrench, you're getting this kind of knife's edge into the mat. And the way that the bottoms of these shoes are, it's got those rectangles. Yeah, I guess they're extruded rectangles here that are gonna really grip in the mat there. I mean, they look good. The tongues come up high. I guess when I wrestle, I like to have my laces taped like this. If I were to wrestle, I'd be having them taped around like this, and then that fills up, they won't come untied. Let's see. Okay, so the shoes are on, so let's see what it's like putting them in what is really just a tiny, this tongue is big, and I like that it's big and comes up. And the lace holder is inside the tongue, which this is probably the only time I'll ever do this. Well, let's see what they look like. Okay, fine. Whatever. I think that looks kind of stupid. I don't like any kind of lace holder really built into shoes, unless it's a zipper. I don't like them. But that's what they look like. They look perfectly fine, I guess. I just don't like it. But that's just me. And I really don't think that's where they're designing them for. I would just tape these just like that, around, hanging out like that. That's how I like them. But no, these feel good. I'm excited to wear these, and they feel comfortable, and I don't see any places in the construction where it would really show any evident signs of wear. Yeah, these are great. They're a great response to the market, what we need. So yeah, I really like them. Again, just finally, would not recommend these for people that are going to be wrestling fast-paced and folk style. If you're trying to get these shoes and you've got to convince your dad that it's worth it, I would say start wrestling freestyle if you don't already, and capitalize on the fact that they would be great freestyle and Greco wrestling shoes. If you're trying to get these for folk style, maybe if you're a heavyweight, say that you're a heavyweight and point out the things that I said. Otherwise, spend your money on some shoes that are going to be able to respond to the way that lighter guys wrestle a little bit better. But overall, really excited to wear these. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching.